crap. And yet LeBron James is like, yeah, I mean, he wants it out there. He'd rather play for the Mavericks than play for the Lakers. That's what he's saying. He's saying if all things were equal, he would rather play for the Mavericks. They're not equal, so he doesn't really he's not willing to sacrifice to play for the Mavericks, but he'd rather play for the Mavericks than play for the Lakers. Literally only staying in LA because he has to, because that's where he makes the most money.
Of course.
Rich Paul trying to create this, he'd rather be somewhere else. Is there a way in which we can get him traded?
If I'm the Lakers, I trade Bronny. You want to leave? You talking junk? You're not appreciative? You just want the money? We're just going to go ahead and trade Bronny now, because eventually when LeBron retires to lead the Lakers, what's the sense of keeping Bronny? You're only keeping Bronny because of LeBron. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm petty and I get rid of Bronny. Doug Gottlieb goes off on LeBron James for wanting to play with the Mavs and being selfish. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
LeBron James picked up his player option to remain with the Lakers, but it represents a calculated decision that did not come without considering a move elsewhere, according to John Hollinger of The Athletic. In fact, there were whispers in the league circles about LeBron James having an eye for Dallas, Hollinger reports, but the four-time NBA champion was not willing to pass on a $52.6 million contract with the Lakers for a non-taxpayer mid-level exception to sign. In Dallas, James would have reunited with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, also having the opportunity to play alongside number one overall pick Cooper Flagg. James expressed belief that Flagg will be amazing with the Mavericks. So, yeah, let's dive in here.
Yeah, I can see LeBron James wanting to play in Dallas. He has some great things to say about Cooper Flagg. You already know he rocks with Jay Kidd on the Lakers coaching staff. So that team could be good. He can reunite with his buddy AD. He didn't want AD to go, I guess, but, you know, he got Luka Doncic, so you really can't complain too much there. But LeBron in Dallas, reunited with Kyrie as well, could be a solid fit if he wants to win a championship. If he's all about winning championships, trying to maximize whatever he has left in the NBA before he retires, maybe the Dallas Mavericks could be a good fit. But he wasn't going to turn down that $52 million unless it was guaranteed he was going to be able to get it in Dallas.
I call bullcrap. Right? I mean, look, we do this in college basketball. It's like, oh, I could have had this guy, could have had that guy, and I'm not taking this guy. It was never an option if you were going to opt in. Ever. Would LeBron James ever play for less than topped out? Would he ever play for less than $10 million or $15 million? Jay Stu, any chance?
No, that's not him.
Okay. Sam, any chance?
No.
Muncie, any chance you believe LeBron James would ever play? Let's just say, I don't even know what the mid-level exception is, at less than $15 million.
No.
Okay, so it's not an option. It's not an option. Right? This is the guy going like, yeah, I could have taken her out. Like, she wouldn't have gone out with you. What are we even doing? There was whispers around league circles. Like, no, there weren't. And again, I'm not telling you that John Hollinger is full of it. I'm telling you the people that are calling John Hollinger go like, you know, he thought about it. Here's the conversation of it. Rich, can I go play in Dallas? Like, yeah, but you have to play for the mid-level. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, that's the thing with LeBron. Will he put his ego and pride aside and play for the mid-level? Play for that, 10, 15, 20 million. He could do that if he really wants to win. So that just lets you know that unless he's going to get paid, minimum probably 40, he's not going to lead the Lakers until he can guarantee he'll get that elsewhere. Again, if he's all about winning, put the money aside, go ahead and, play for a championship contender for 10, 15, 20 million, and then see what you can do. But it's obvious that LeBron James, he wants to get his money and wants to win as well. You see what he's doing with the Lakers by taking that money. You messed up the Lakers. Now they got to settle for Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and some other role players. If LeBron would have took less, they got rid of those players. Maybe they have $30 and $40 million to sign another all-star player to pair with Luke and LeBron. But LeBron is selfish. He's all about the money before he retires.
Can we make it uncomfortable enough for the Lakers that they have to trade us? We could try. It doesn't mean I don't think it's true that he'd prefer to play. He thinks that Kyrie and Anthony Davis, that's much more his jam, right? But it also proves what I've said time and again, which is, like, here's a dude who they hired a coach, and do I think JJ is a pretty good coach? I do. But do we think for 1 second JJ would have gotten the Lakers job had he not been doing a podcast with LeBron James?
Yeah, it's obvious. That was his podcast, homie. LeBron, he still has influence. Let me go ahead and hire you as my co-host. But at the same time, I don't like Darvin Ham, and you may have an opportunity to be our head coach. So go ahead, buckle down for another season. I'll go ahead and get Darvin Ham out of here, and then we'll get you on board and be the Lakers coach. So again, yeah, LeBron had a huge influence of JJ being the coach of the Lakers. And again, going back to LeBron going to the Dallas Mavericks, it would be a good fit. AD, Kyrie, Cooper, Clay, Gafford. That's a solid team. You had LeBron there. You can probably make some moves in the Western Conference. But again, unless they were going to give him 40, 50, 60 million, he's not leaving the Lakers. He's going to opt in and talk junk like he wants to leave. But at the same time, if he can't guarantee making the money he was going to make opting in elsewhere, he's just going to remain with the Lakers and act like a diva.
We don't. So you hired somebody that he respects, that he works with, that he likes, that's kind of a contemporary as the head coach. You draft his son. You've done everything in your power to make him and his people feel comfortable. And then you make a trade where everybody, and I feel like I'm the only voice of reason. Like, I don't think it was as pronounced slam dunk dominant trade for the Lakers as the world would let you to believe. But 99% of the people think the Lakers won that trade. Maybe even 100 think the Lakers won the trade. It's a question of how much did they win it by a point, or did they win it by 25?
It's up for debate.
And yet LeBron James is like, yeah, I mean, he wants it out there. He'd rather play for the Mavericks than play for the Lakers. That's what he's saying. He's saying if all things were equal, he would rather play for the Mavericks. They're not equal. So he doesn't really he's not willing to sacrifice to play for the Mavericks, but he'd rather play for the Mavericks than play for the Lakers.
Yeah, again, good team if LeBron was on the Mavs. Good team without LeBron, but he's not willing to sacrifice that check. LeBron knows he only has another season or two at this level to where he can command 40 and 50 million per season. So again, unless the Mavs are going to clear out some cap space, get rid of some players, then I think you may have an opportunity there. But again, if it ain't about the money with LeBron, it don't make sense, which I ain't mad at him. But if you're going to opt in, there should be no complaining from LeBron, not him acting like a baby and a diva crying that they don't have help when you opted into that $52 million. You're going to have to deal with the Lakers and then see what happens in 2026 during the offseason.
Yet again, it seems like every single story that comes out of the Rich Paul camp is we don't care about the Laker fans. I mean,
No.
the only reason I'm playing in front of you fans is for the money. I would much rather be somewhere else.
Yeah. Yep.
You want that check.
And as we've said on this show, which is they should have jettisoned LeBron James a couple years ago. They didn't because, one, there was a value. They felt like there was value in having him break the all-time scoring mark in their uniform. But two, they were just all in on LeBron. Hey, this is where he's going to end his career. We're going to have his son here. We'll do whatever it takes to get the most out of LeBron. And the repayment is, hey, Luka gets the ball more than me. He gets to make decisions. I'd prefer to go do it somewhere else.
Yeah, the Lakers did a lot for LeBron. They traded for AD, got rid of their young core. Then the remaining young core, they got rid of for Russell Westbrook. That didn't work. Then they fired Darvin Ham and hired J.J. Redick. And then they drafted your son, Bronny, which really should be in college right now. He really shouldn't be in the NBA. I'm not saying that he isn't ever going to be NBA ready, but he had a better chance of doing what he's doing in the G League and Summer League in his second and third year in college. And then he would have been able to get drafted off his own merit as opposed to them manipulating the draft and getting him on the Lakers. So the Lakers, they made themselves look like fools doing everything for LeBron. And LeBron, he's selfish. He wants the money and he wants to throw shots at the organization. LeBron is selfish.
No thought of every Laker fan buying a LeBron jersey, swallowing their pride as Kobe guys to buy a LeBron jersey.
Yeah, LeBron all by himself. He don't care.
Doesn't care. Literally only staying in L.A. because he has to, because that's where he makes the most money.
Of course.
So I also think this is one of those stories that is it's kind of classic Rich Paul trying to create this. He'd rather be somewhere else. Is there a way in which we can get him traded? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that one. I don't think the answer is yes, but it wouldn't be crazy this late in his career.
Yeah, if they had opportunity to trade LeBron but get back, equal talent or maybe expiring contracts to where at least give Luka an opportunity to win this season, I think they'll do it. But I think the Lakers are going to stand down. They're going to allow LeBron to cry. You got your $52 million, so go ahead and cry in the corner. If you really want to end your career out on a bad note, be a diva and do all that after getting your money and opting in, so be it. But I ain't gonna lie, if I'm the Lakers, I stand on business too. You're trying to get KCP possibly. You did a lot to get Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton, clearing all that cap space. If I'm the Lakers, I trade Bronny. You want to leave? You talking junk? You're not appreciative? You just want the money? We're just going to go ahead and trade Bronny now, because eventually when LeBron retires to lead the Lakers, what's the sense of keeping Bronny? You're only keeping Bronny because of LeBron. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm petty and I get rid of Bronny and then see what it is with LeBron. It is what it is. So at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens moving forward with LeBron, if he finishes the season with the Lakers or if there's a trade or a buyout.